We are in an unprecedented age of communication and access to communication. Hey everybody, it's Beth. Welcome to Infinite Garden. This is my little corner of the internet, and today I wanted to talk about my YouTube channel itself. I wanted to share how it's going. I want to update you on the equipment that I'm using, the software that I'm using, and I want to talk a little bit about the why I think it's good to start a YouTube channel. And if you've been thinking about it, I want to give you some of my thoughts about why I think you should. If that sounds good to you, please stay tuned. I made a video similar to this over a year ago. I'll leave a card up here. In that video, I shared how I started this YouTube channel with zero knowledge, skills, or ability and taught myself how to run a YouTube channel. The purpose of that video was to share how to do this when you don't have any idea what you're doing. When I filmed that first video, my channel had about 600 subscribers and I had, I think, 44 videos on my channel. Since that time, I have had the great good fortune to pass the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is one of the key details needed to become monetized here on YouTube. You also need 4,000 watch hours. So when I filmed that first video, which was in December 2021, I didn't have either of those milestones met. Right now it is March 2023. And since then, I've been able to keep up the pace. For me, I publish once a week. I usually publish on Sunday mornings, sometimes Sunday afternoons. I'm generally pretty consistent. There aren't a lot of weeks that I've missed. And so in the over 2 years that I've been on YouTube, I now have about 102 long form videos and 16 shorts. I've been dabbling with the shorts. And I'm now at over 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers. It means the world to me. I have over 314,000 views on my channel, and I have over 22,400 watch hours, which I feel like seems like a lot. That equals about 934 days. That's 2.56 years of human attention span devoted to watching videos on my channel, which absolutely blows my mind. It's the kind of thing where if I think about it, sometimes I wind up in the vortex. One of the major milestones that happened to me in the year 2022 was that my channel hit both 1,000 subscribers and I had over 4,000 hours of watch time. Together, those are the two requirements to becoming monetized here on YouTube. What that means is that YouTube shares with you the revenue that they earn from selling ads on your channel. Prior to a channel becoming monetized, YouTube may still place ads in front of those videos or after those videos, but they're receiving all of the income. Once you're monetized, you become a YouTube partner and they split the ad revenue with you. Becoming monetized is one of the goals of most YouTube channel makers, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what also goes into the process of becoming monetized, because when you become monetized, you have opened up a small business. Of course, everybody's different, but opening up a small business takes money and expertise, and I wanted to share what I did in order to prepare myself for becoming monetized and what I'm doing now to manage the responsibility of earning income from Google AdSense and other sources. Before we start, I am not an advisor, and what I'm going to share with you should be taken as advice you might receive from a friend. Everything I tell you is just what I did with my channel, and if anything changes or if the information that I give you at some point I think is bad, I'll come back and I will clarify. But let me just tell you what I did. One of the first things I did is I reached out to friends that already own and operate small businesses. You may have some of those in your network. I do happen to have some entrepreneurs in my friend circle. And I asked for their advice on accounting support and also legal advice. So the first thing I did is I reached out to an attorney to help me establish a trademark. The attorney that I used was recommended by a friend, and she offered a flat rate for handling statewide trademark services. So I wanted a trademark within the state of Michigan. This is something that anyone can apply for without the assistance of an attorney. Now, a trademark isn't necessary to run a YouTube channel, but I decided that I would go ahead and establish one. One of the points of advice that I received from my attorney about establishing a trademark is that if someone were to copy my YouTube videos and publish them under a different account, kind of like a scam account, it would be easier for me to ask YouTube to take that channel down if I had a trademark. And the advice that I received was that a state level trademark was sufficient to have that done. Not long before I got monetized, I reached out to an accountant and I let them know that this was coming and that I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I asked for their advice. The accountant told me to begin keeping track of all of my expenses, and I had some. I had purchased some equipment. I'll talk about that shortly. I did this with the Google Suite spreadsheet, and I kept track of every expense that I had, and I made another tab for income, assuming that that would be coming in soon. This accountant advised me on how to get started and also advised me on how to set up my small business. This accountant recommended that I set up an LLC. I don't remember exactly when I applied for my LLC, but it was after becoming monetized. The process of applying for the LLC was really pretty easy. I did it myself. I did ask for a little bit of legal advice as I was going through that, just to make sure I was setting it up correctly. But I did do that in calendar year 22. So my channel has a trademark and there is an LLC associated with my business. Once I got my first check, I wanted to have a separate bank account to receive that money. Now, again, not all of this is necessary. It's just what I did. So I went to my banking institution and I asked them about their business account product services. Because I've been a customer with this bank for some time, they were happy to work with me and they helped me establish my bank account. One thing that you need in order to set up a bank account is a EIN number. So I was able to apply for my employee identification number, got it pretty quickly, and I was able to use that number then to open up the bank account. For the year 2022, I did not earn more than I spent. The equipment that I purchased outpaced the amount of income that I received. I will record a loss on my channel because of the equipment that I purchased, but for the year 2023, I don't expect to make any major equipment purchases. I do think that I will have more income than expenses in the year 2023, and I will continue to work with my accountant to make sure that I'm staying on the right side of the tax man here in the United States. Okay, let's talk about what I upgraded. I'm really excited about this. So in the earlier part of 2022, I purchased a new camera. It's a camera I'm speaking into right now. I'll show some B-roll footage I took with my iPhone. I bought a Sony ZV-1, I think is what it is. I always forget what this thing is called. It looks and feels like an old school point and shoot. It does shoot in 4K. It has a lot of great features. What I was looking for my first camera upgrade was a camera that I could easily use and understand. One that would be easy to carry around if I wanted to take it on the go. The battery life is pretty decent. I do have about 4 or 5 extra batteries that I keep on a charger, so I can just pop them in and pop them out. So this camera has been the major upgrade to my channel. It's improved the quality and it's also made it possible for me to get out from behind my laptop. Prior to this, I was using a Logitech webcam, which recorded in 1080p, which is pretty good resolution. The Sony does go up to 4K, but you can record really crisp, high quality videos in 1080. So the first year of my channel, I was recording on a high quality Logitech. The only issue with that is that it plugs right into the laptop. So you're pretty much just looking right at the laptop. It made it harder for me to move around and be in different locations. The Sony and a good tripod have made it possible for me to have a little more flexibility about where I am and what I'm doing. The Sony does come with a decent internal microphone. I did upgrade to this particular add-on microphone. I'm using it right now. I think it does sound pretty good. It does come with one of those fuzzy covers in case you do go out into the wind. I don't use that fuzzy cover when I'm at home. I also upgraded my lights. I added a couple of LED lights. These do come with big softbox covers, but I use them mostly just like this. I'll show you in the B-roll. You can make the lighting warmer or cooler depending on what you choose, and they can be really quite bright. I found these to be pretty effective so far. In terms of software, I'm still using PowerDirector as my primary video editing software. This is a subscription-based software. I pay about 80 bucks a year for it, and it pushes through updates via the web. The program still has a lot of functionality that I don't explore. Sort of like humans and their brains, I think I'm using somewhere between 10 and 25% of PowerDirector's capacity, but it has been a really good program for me now that I've gotten the hang of it. I did upgrade the design software I use on my thumbnails. Prior to upgrading, I was using Google Slides. So in the Google suite of software, I was using the program that looks and feels a lot like PowerPoint, but it had limited capabilities. So I do have a monthly subscription to Canva. It's about $14.99 a month, and that's just one of my channel expenses. This allows me to remove the background. I can do more with photo editing. I can do more with kind of just special effects and more fonts. I like to think I have a fairly decent eye and maybe a decent taste level, but I had zero skill level in terms of creating graphic design. Your thumbnail is an extremely potent piece of advertising for your video. You can make the best video in the world, but if nobody clicks on it, they'll never enjoy it. The thumbnail is a really critical part of advertising your video here on YouTube, and I decided it was worth it to me and to my channel to invest in better thumbnails. So that's the how. Let's talk about the why. Why would someone like me, busy, full-time job, why would I choose to spend so much of my time making these YouTube videos? One of the reasons I wanted to start my channel is that I would say in the last 10 years, I'm 44 now, in the last, I would say 5 years, I've really woken up to the fact that my humble and ordinary life is actually holy and extraordinary in its own way. And one of the things that I like about the era that we're in, even though it's imperfect, even though it's very difficult, we are in an unprecedented age of communication and access to communication. I think it's a unique opportunity in modern history for women over 40 to be able to contribute their voices. We know that I will just say, in American media culture, there has been a prevailing narrative that a lot of women feel as though they no longer have access to good roles. You know, there was a long period of time where women sort of became invisible past a certain point. I don't know if people remember when they tried to fire Vanna White from the Wheel of Fortune and the fans backlashed. It was kind of an amazing moment. Anyway, what my point is that YouTube is an example of something that offers everybody, including us, an opportunity to lend our voices to the communal debate. I'm here for that. I felt like I wanted to use my voice more, and YouTube offered me that opportunity. That's my tea. This is why it's fun to have a YouTube channel too, right? You get to actually be creative for a minute. Are we good? The light's so good in here. This is my living room. I love having my YouTube channel because I feel like it's a place where I can use my voice to help create something in the world I wanted to see. You know the Gandhi quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world"? I wanted to create this YouTube channel partly because I could, and I wanted to see what I could do. And if you're finding yourself in that spot where you're thinking the same thing, you're thinking, this is really fun, I wonder if I could do it, you really can. You don't need fancy equipment, just ask me from yesterday. The smartphone in your pocket is honestly all you need to start. This is an iPhone 11, not a Pro version, but this has an excellent camera and a really good microphone, and you can do everything you need to do from this device alone. The final thing I wanted to say is thank you. Thank you so much for coming to my little infinite garden and contributing your stories and thoughts. You've been so generous in your comments with me, sharing your own stories and adding so much to the conversation. Your feedback helps me so much. I would love to know what you'd like to see more of from my channel. I am planning to do some more fashion related videos, including the Kibbe body typing stuff. I know people have been really interested in that. I'm excited to make more of that in the near future. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well out there, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Talk soon.